back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no loss. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. I'm with the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
I just got bags from Prada. Rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow.
Now we're cooking.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they will be led out by their 6'3 quarterback.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team that wins.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Throwing again. Dobbs. He's going to sling this deep downfield, and that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for Minnesota. 43 yards.
Things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan today, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
From the 24, Dobbs. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 16 yards, a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there. Yeah,
I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The numbers a week ago for Cook. 9 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a changeup.
2nd down and goal. Dobbs. This is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. Dobbs is throwing. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
Now Brown, after the made field goal, gets set for the kickoff. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. Out of the gun, Watson. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Hey, one set. Check, Mike, 54. Heavy on the edges, heavy.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first. And that seemed to me to be all about trusting your receiver.
No doubt about it, because when he put that ball in the air, I will guarantee you everyone who's watching this game right now thought that's up for grabs. But this is a lot of practice time. As you mentioned, a ton of trust, and he knows how good his guy is. So to him, it wasn't up for grabs. To him, it was a big play waiting to happen.
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hey, watch the screen.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55.
From the 27, Watson. And an alley to run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Viking 16.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a 1st down.
Where's that? 54 Mike. I don't even know why this team showed up.
From the red zone now, Watson. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now a give, right side. It's Beal, and able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 yards there, 1st down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
50%, 19. Switch. Shoot. Alert, 931. Out we go.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
On second and goal, Watson back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, but now it's third and goal. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? To throw is Watson. Complete. It's Johnson. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a fourth down. So on fourth down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. And they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Back to throw Downs. Going for the deep ball. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's fourth down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
Fielded just inside the 20. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one, too.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tough.
Give him 17. Another pick up there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Break this. Set. 19. 54. Hey, watch the slant. He's moving. Trying to go.
On first down, Watson. He's got Fuller. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Check 99. Check 94. 55.
To throw again on second down. Watson. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. Third down now.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
Watson on third down. He finds his target, Fuller. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. Third and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
They'll run on first down. Beal. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6.
Mike 54. Mike 54. 24.
Now Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. It's rare that a receiver of his caliber would drop one pass, but that's now 2 times he's had his mitts on one and lost it.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to lose confidence in him, though, because of the track record. Such a good player, maybe having a bad game, but I think they'll still go to him in a critical spot.
Throwing on third down, Watson. They'll find Miller. That's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Johnson, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
On second and 10, Watson. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Daniil Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a third and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Third and long, it's Watson. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
And no field goal try here from the red zone. Offense out there. They'll go for it on fourth. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Now Dobbs, and nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Coverage that time by Aaron Colvin.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Here's Dobbs to throw. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
On 1st down, it's Watson. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again is Watson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Watson looks to throw again. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play there just before halftime, and even 40 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Now a first down throw, Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Play action for Miller. Now Watson. He spins free. It's complete. Stills. That catch good for 5. It's third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's fourth down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. Now the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team. And they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Dobbs. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Let's go. Pick it up, Chief.
Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Well, I know we hold off on the halftime update after all. Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Texans to take over. They were winners last week over Tennessee, and they've got the lead here as well. They start this drive out 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Watson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range. but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
From the gun on 3rd down, Dobbs. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Whitney Merciless showing no mercy. Flies in for the sack.
All right, partner, count with me. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Look, he had all day to throw the football and never got rid of it and allowed for the sack. That's not on the offensive line.
And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's go.
Watson now to throw. He gets this one to Johnson. Call it a gain of 5. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Watson off play action. Sliding out of the pocket. He's got a man, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That's a 1st down with a cherry on top, 31 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now a give right side. It's Beal. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll keep it on the ground. Beal. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field. Hey, Mike 51. Mike 51.
Out of the gun, Watson. Throw left side complete. That's Beal. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. He's having a nice game through the air. His decision-making's been really good, solid there again. Just seeing nothing downfield goes underneath. Nice game.
How about the patience? Because when you're having a big game through the air, you're looking for those chunk plays, those big ones downfield. Instead, as you noted, takes the check down, dumps it off, gains good yardage anyway. Really well executed.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Come in here. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. 26. Hey, over. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Let's go.
From the gun, here's Watson.
Let's go.
He gets it to Thomas. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Johnson. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 2nd and 7, Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Texans on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check.
Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. Complete. It's Johnson. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Here's Dobbs to throw. And Diggs has it. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Mike, 55. Check, 55.
On 4th down, Dobbs. Open man here is Conklin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Ryan looked down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Dobbs now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, here's Dobbs. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, but it'll be 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again. Dobbs. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw Dobbs. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. J.J. Watt in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. On 4th down, Dobbs lets it fly for Thielen. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Sometimes the one-handed catches are unnecessary, but he was trying to ward off the defender with the other, so maybe that was just a good play.
So that tells you that not only do they imagine those types of catches, they actually work on them with defenders jostling them in order to keep their concentration and haul it in.
They'll run with Cook, and he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are back within a single score. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down.
I'm going back to you. Mike 54.
Now Watson going to throw again. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Well, it was second and long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Following the sack, it's now third and long for Watson and the Texans. Watson throwing on third and long. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And all the way down to the 35. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. 42 yards. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ballgame.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Now a give right side. Beal. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Watch the run, watch the run. Check to the 9. Check to the 4.
Now on 2nd and 13. Watson going deep here for Stills. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. That was close to a big play and just a little bit too far that he was led. He caught it but couldn't stay in bounds, Charles.
Yeah, I'm not very good at these sort of things, but I have to believe the farther you are downfield, the less your margin for error in throwing the ball, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so they gave it a good effort there. Really tried, just couldn't complete it.
And Thomas has it. 23 yards, the final tally. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. On first down, it's Beal. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run.
SOS. 22, check, over. 22, check, over.
They'll keep it on the ground. Beal, and he'll get this one down to about the 17. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long.
Yo. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Pick it up. 36. 36.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And he'll get inside the 10, but he's short of the line he needed. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this has no chance. It's no good. Well wide to the left, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, that one hurts a bit. That was a golden opportunity to possibly put this one on ice, but he comes up empty.
And how big of a miss might that turn out to be? Stay tuned. There's still time left on the clock. This could be critical.
Still a one-score game. Had he hit that, it would have been 2 scores. So all eyes on this Vikings offense. Down on the scoreboard. And time, a huge factor. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw, and that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well have run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. On 4th down, Dobbs. The throw complete to Beebe. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
Oh, that's a big pickup right there. That play might have saved them. Now they got to get up to the line of scrimmage quick. They've got to spike it.
There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
And this is caught at the 20. Brushing, and he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the 4th quarter.
We all knew the situation. We're in the 4th quarter. Who's going to step up and make the big play? Well, we just saw it, didn't we? Took their shot, downfield, got it, and now they're in a great position to take the lead.
Extra point splits the uprights. A 4th quarter score now from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And that is now a 2-touchdown lead for the Browns in that game. If they can hold on, the win would be number 8 for them on the campaign. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Win the rep.
Now it's Watson. Thomas has got it. Complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th.
54 Mike. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Mike 5-4.
Watson now to throw. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. That's now a pair of
Now we're cooking. It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. U.S. Bank Stadium holds just under 70,000 spectators, and they've come out in full force for this one. A fantastic atmosphere here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come into this one 0-6 on the year, and really it's sort of just been one thing after another.
Coupled with they don't start very fast. The first quarter's really been an issue for them. They've got to learn to get out of the gates quicker in order to try and win some games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Off the play fake, here's Dobbs. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. And it's second down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
It's Jaleel Adai who brings him down.
When you're trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Here's Dobbs to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. And Stills bringing it in. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 2nd down now. It's Miller looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. That time on the outside, pretty nice job as a cornerback to shed any would-be blockers and make the tackle.
And think about the praise we're giving him, what his coaches have given him, but how about the respect he gets from his teammates to be a complete corner who doesn't just cover receivers, but also tackles ball carriers.
He completes this into the hands of Miller. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 23.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking 1st down.
They'll run on 1st down. Beal. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. And it's still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Watson on third down. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Give to Cook out of the gun. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
From the gun on third down. Dobbs. The open man is Smith. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field.
Offense.
And they're already walking backwards. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now Dobbs. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. There defensively to knock it away was the safety, Justin Reed.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Houston. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. We know this offense, they're built around passing the football. That time, the running game didn't suit them so well.
Not so well, but they have to do it every so often. You have to be able to control the pass rush a little bit, make them somewhat hesitant before they come and get your quarterback. At least have the illusion that you have a running game.
Now on 2nd and 13. Watson being chased out left. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Ready up.
On 1st down, it's Beal. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Hey, shoot!
Now Gray looking to throw on second down. He's letting this, and the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. The 21st pick back in the 2016 draft, Will Fuller, and we know that he can take the top off of a defense.
He certainly can, and the way that he does it is just straight, pure speed. And I saw it with one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, and I said, how do you defend that? And he said, at times, you absolutely don't. If the quarterback gets time and he heaves it downfield, Will Fuller's going to outrun any coverage you put out there.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a run with Cook. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not got much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller, sitting right around the midpoint of the season, on pace for 1,000 yards. Good year so far, and I'm sure film study being devoted to him a little bit more on the other side.
They have to, because the pace that he's carrying right now, if you're pushing 1,000-yard pace as a receiver, that means he warrants your attention. And right now, precision is going on with their offense. Kind of like that timepiece you wear on your wrist. You know, that good stuff. Got to knock that off somehow. Chip away at that timing. Change things up a little bit and make them go to other things and make them do those things better.
Yeah, try to make him uncomfortable. Not many teams have been able to do that so far this year.
Ready to break. Mike 51.
Back to throw is Gray. On 1st and 10. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On 2nd down. It's Beal, and tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard, stop short of the 35. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the gun, Gray. And he finds Stills, complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 22-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ready. 60 Pittsburgh. X3. 218. Chopper. Let go.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down now, it's Beal. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going in the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. Could be some contact going on.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
Yes, sir.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans push further out in front.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find
under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. J.J. Watt in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Dobbs. And that's going to be incomplete.
trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Cook. Got some room at the 30. That good for 22 and a first down. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on third and 5, third and 6, third and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
On second down, it's Cook. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. On third down, Dobbs. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. Not only does he not have a catch, I don't think he's been targeted in this game, but they're winning.
And if you ask a receiver of his magnitude, he'll tell you that it's because everyone is focused on him anyway. Okay, you've taken it away. No catches, no targets, but we're still winning. I've opened things up for the rest of my team. I know how receivers think.
They've been using him as a decoy, and effectively so. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Check 26, check 26.
Hey! On first down, Gray. Johnson's got it complete. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. This quarterback now, a perfect 5 of 5 since taking over. They haven't missed a beat. First and 10. They'll try the left side. Beal, and he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point, Week 8 of the NFL season.
Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Let's go one more. 51's the mic. Hey, Delta.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Go! Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. 50 now.
Here's Gray throwing on first down. Off to Thomas on the left side. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's Everson Griffin who made the tackle. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Gray operating from the gun. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they got a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Duke Johnson, the one he was looking for. But it's going to be 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
On 2nd down now. It's Beal, and they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Gray now, from the gun, he'll throw. Finding his safety valve here, that's complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here. And the pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. Even though they didn't get it, probably the right call. Too long for a field goal and just not a whole lot to gain from a punt there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have really netted very much yardage if you pumped the ball, right? And the thing about a field goal, and you know this from so much experience, the longer the field goal, the lower it comes out off the kick, right? Which means it's got a better chance of being blocked. So you're taking a chance either way. I like the fact they went for it. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught, they've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Elsewhere, second half action at Heinz Field. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
General West.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Hey, high 7.
Mike's by 4, Mike's by 4, Mike's by 4.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there, Harry.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Hey, exit. Yo, go. Get it.
Now Gray to throw on second down. It's complete. Stills. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Watching the clock. Watch the run. Yeah, now.
Back to throw is Gray from the gun on third down. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
Let's go.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Watch him.
Looking to throw. Gray. On the left side, this is Stills. A gain of 6 there on first.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Second and 4. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him.
Now. Go.
Throwing on third and long. Gray. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this third quarter of play. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the fourth quarter. The Texans send the punter out. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. A field position changer there. 49 yards on the punt. Couple that with a loss on the return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Dobbs looking to throw on first down. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Throwing after the interception. Dobbs. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
I'm not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now Dobbs, and Diggs has it. And he's got this down to the 35. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Here's Dobbs to throw. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Dobbs now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Dobbs. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A 14-yard pickup. That's 14 yards on 2 straight plays. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on the board.
And I'm curious on the defensive side if they stay aggressive, because you know they want to pitch this shutout.
Yeah, they have to be aggressive, but they also have to be smart about it as well, because one mistake can turn into 6 points.
Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Dobbs is throwing. He's got Smith here. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
A 28-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And now out comes Houston. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 38-yard line.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Greystone, travel. Bravo.
Hey, Mike 51, Mike 51. Pick me up. Here we go. Go, Mike 51, Mike 51.
2nd and 2. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 16 yards, a first down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
Give the tackle there to Daniil Hunter. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Hey.
They'll try the left side. Beal. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Beal. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination,